everyone, and welcome to my 6-week pregnancy update. I'm just a couple of days past 7 weeks pregnant now, so it's a good time to talk about everything from week 6. If you can't already tell, this is a very casual video. I am just sitting on my bed. I don't have a great setup. It's dark outside. It's literally 9 p.m. and I just haven't felt in the mood to film for a few days, but I figure I better do it since I'm already into 7 weeks now. But yeah, so I've got my notes here since I'm filming on my phone. I just want to start this video off by saying that I'm just so grateful for another day that this baby is growing, and I'm just grateful for another day to have that. You know that my husband and I had a miscarriage a couple months before becoming pregnant again. Obviously, when you go through something like that, even when you don't, I'm sure every pregnant woman, every mom worries. So yeah, every new day, I'm just grateful to still have this baby. But yeah, that's just, I wanted to start out by saying that. But it hasn't been all fun, that is for sure. So I think I mentioned in my 5-week video that I was like wondering, were there hints of morning sickness coming on? I don't know. But sure enough, week 6 started off with some queasiness. Again, just a hint, and I wasn't sure. I'm like, is this the start? Is it not? It was definitely the start. Anyways, so practically first day of week 6, I started feeling queasy. And okay, so my favorite way to take my prenatal before becoming pregnant was in a smoothie. So every morning I would make a smoothie and I would put my protein or my prenatal vitamin, which is actually a protein powder mix, into my morning smoothie. And then with everything going on in the world, the prenatal ran out of stock right before we got pregnant. So I didn't have my smoothie any longer. And honestly, I was out of prenatal, and this is a very good prenatal, and I'm only taking this particular brand because I have the MTHFR gene mutation. So it's just a brand I trust. It's from Seeking Health. I have it linked below if you're interested, but it sells out, so grab it up when you can. But anyways, so I'd run out of that, and I had a little bit left of the pill version of it, the capsules, I should say. So I was like taking like a couple a day when you're really supposed to take 8 a day, but I didn't want to just run out and get any prenatal at the stores because I can't have folic acid, and that's in all the prenatal. So I need the active form of folic acid, which is methylfolate. That's a whole nother story. I can talk about MTHFR if you want to hear about it, but that's another story. Anyways, so I'd run out of that. But finally, they got it back in stock after a couple months of being out, and I ordered 3 big tubs of it. Yeah. Little did I know, by the time it got here, I'd already started feeling queasy. So I made a smoothie a couple times, actually for like one of my dinners, and it kind of grossed me out. And I was like, oh great. No, I don't want to swallow 8 pills. Like, I really want to take it in a smoothie, but I forced myself to drink it that day. But I just felt, ooh, not great. So then the next day I made another smoothie, and it was really hard to get that down. And then the third day, I think week 6, 3 days in, when I even thought about it, my mouth watered and I just gagged, and just the thought of the smoothie made me want to puke. So I knew that was out, and thankfully I still have some capsules left. So for now, I'm just having to take capsules, but taking my vitamins is a challenge right now. I just, the thought of them. So I'm having a really hard time getting all 8 of my prenatal pills down. But on top of that, I take like 8 other vitamins. So it's a challenge. Sometimes I only get 4, sometimes I get all 8. Yeah, even talking about it is making me feel queasy. So yeah, I tried my smoothie for a couple of days, and then I felt this is probably the start of morning sickness, right on time at week 6. Why did I think I would be lucky? So yeah, I think food aversions definitely have started as of week 6, and as I went throughout the week, more and more foods just seemed nasty to me. Smells, my sense of smell definitely increased. Anything like, I don't know, anything like the smell of like cooked meat, anything that has like a strong smell, it's an aversion for me. So I haven't been eating any cooked meat right now. It's been a struggle. So for a couple of days, I wasn't sure what to eat. Like, I was still trying to eat normal food. Oh, and salads. I've been eating salads daily. I love making a huge salad with an entire avocado on it, beans, all that good stuff thrown on top of it. But right around week 6, I couldn't do that anymore. Just the thought of it made me sick. So I stopped eating my salads. So no meat, no salad, no smoothie. I was really struggling to know what in the world to eat. And towards the end of week 6, I finally was like, you know what? I'm going to just Google like what to eat for morning sickness. So I Googled that and I read a bunch of articles about what people suggest. And just in doing that, it kind of helped give me some ideas of things that sounded good to me and sounded like I could stomach them. And most of those things were fruit and like citrus type fruits. Yeah, nothing that I had to cook. Yogurt, cheese, a few things I wasn't sure if I could stomach, like cheese and yogurt. I just didn't know, but so far they've been okay. And at least I can get some protein that way. I also found that one type of salad is doing me all right, which is I take an English cucumber, because I don't like cucumbers really, but I don't mind the English cucumber too much. So I take an English cucumber and I cut it like 4 ways and then chop it up into bite-sized pieces, drop that in a glass bowl, and then I take some cherry tomatoes and cut those in half, drop that in the bowl, and then I take a vinaigrette Italian dressing, which is actually the Olive Garden dressing. My husband loves that, so we always have it on hand for his salad. And I threw some of that in there, and then I topped it with some broken, crumbled up organic cheddar cheese, which Parmesan cheese would probably be even better, but that's what I had on hand because I got some cheese sticks. So I broke that up on it and also put in some kidney beans for protein, and that's been a good snack or side for my meals. And then so far I've gone out twice to get those ingredients, and so I'm doing okay with that. We'll see how long that works for me. Popsicles, like citrus flavored popsicles, I'll try to find the ones that I got and put them up here because they're made with real fruit, so those have been good. I tried getting Jolly Ranchers. I've heard that kind of helps something sour, but I did the Walmart pickup and I accidentally got the gummy ones, which they were still really sour. My mouth is watering just thinking about it. Weird. But I hate the aftertaste that certain candies leave in your mouth, and I really don't want to add a lot of sugar to my diet. But I was kind of desperate, so I got them. They definitely help in the moment, but I hate that aftertaste. It just really grosses me out. So I don't know, maybe I'll break down and buy some actual pregnancy candies, or like ginger snaps or whatever they're called. The candies I've seen. Maybe I'll try some of those. They might have less sugar. Of course, saltines. I got some saltines. I got some pretzels. Got some just bread. What's that bread called? Dave's something. I'll put it here so you can see. But I like that because it's not made with enriched flour. Again, I have to avoid folic acid because of my MTHFR gene situation. And then the saltines, unfortunately, have folic acid in them. There's not much I can do about that, but I have tried to avoid everything with folic acid the best that I can. But the saltines have them and the pretzels have them, so I try to limit those as much as I can. I do have those 2 exceptions right now, but I'm taking lots of active folate, so hopefully that'll be all right. Also, fatigue started hitting me pretty heavy this week, and by the time I got home from work, I was just done. By the time 7 o'clock rolled around, I was falling asleep and needed to turn in early most nights. And I got through the days pretty good. Like, I wasn't really tired. And I have to say, fatigue is not a stranger to me. I mentioned in a previous video, I think. I've had chronic fatigue syndrome for at least 11 years now. So yeah, fatigue is no stranger to me. However, before I became pregnant, I actually made a lot of progress towards healing that. And I found that taking B6 and zinc really helped decrease my fatigue. And really, I felt pretty normal until I got pregnant. And now I'm dealing with fatigue again. So, but it's nothing new. It's definitely debilitating. I mean, I'm exhausted and I just want to lay on the bed all day. But it's not anything new to me. So I know it is temporary and I'll get past it. And I hear the second trimester, you have a lot of energy. So holding on to hope for that. About 4 days into week 6, I remember coming home from work and just feeling totally blah. Just ick. I knew that this was morning sickness and there was no avoiding it. So I just felt, didn't want to eat anything. Everything made me feel queasy. My sense of smell was heightened. Yuck. Just everything was yuck to me. And I just remember sitting on my bed and just thinking I didn't want to do anything or eat anything. But I was hungry. I just didn't want to think about eating anything. So I haven't thrown up yet, but I've gagged and kind of like coughed, and wished I would throw up in some ways. I know this is probably nothing in comparison to those of you who have morning sickness where you throw up constantly. That's got to be really rough. And I'm really hoping mine doesn't turn into that. But I know I've just crossed into week 7, so I guess we'll see. I hear that it usually peaks at around week 9 and then tapers off around week 12 as you get into the second trimester. So technically I've only had the start of morning sickness for just about a week or so. So we'll see. But pretty much it's not morning sickness for me, it's all day sickness. It seems to be especially worse in the evening, but it basically starts when I get up and goes all day. So that one day I just felt totally blah, but I was at least relieved it was my last day of work. I mentioned it in a previous video, but my husband and I made the decision to have me leave my job when we found out I was pregnant this time, just because of the high levels of stress that I was dealing with at my job, plus having had the miscarriage in February. And then when we first got my HCG levels tested for this pregnancy, the doctor told me it was low, so they were concerned, but everything turned out fine so far. Everything's okay as far as I know. The second test came back and it doubled, which is what you want with your HCG levels. So it doubled and they said everything looked good, but we had made the decision that I was going to come home, and I'm so glad we did, because now I can just focus on taking care of myself and staying healthy and all of that, and just focus on this house, which is a renovation project. You can see our door doesn't match our framing. Like, the whole house is just utter chaos here. We have no kitchen. We have nothing in our kitchen but a kitchen sink and the old one that we cut the counter out from around, because we're getting ready to put in new cabinets and countertops. Our house is completely demolished, basically. I mean, we have the walls and everything, but everything else, we have no bathroom vanity. We have no floors, just plywood, but it's all good. We've been living like this since October. Well, when did we actually move in? I think it was in November. So we've been living like this for a few months and just slowly getting things where they need to be. This room is painted. This is the most finished room that we have here, our bedroom. But anyways, that's a whole side story. I'm super grateful to have been able to leave my position at the bank where I was working, and there was just too much going on that I just didn't need to deal with. So far things are going well. I did mention in my last update that I had some spotting in weeks 4 and 5. It seemed to taper off through week 5, but even at the beginning of week 6, I had some what appeared to be spotting again, and that scared me a little bit. And I've seen just like a little bit of spotting occasionally. This is TMI. This is a pregnancy update. I know for me it was helpful to have these videos where people were honest and actually talked about what was really going on, because it's kind of scary and you want to know you're not alone in it. So I hope this helps someone out there who might be dealing with pregnancy related symptoms that might make them nervous. So spotting to me, it has just improved as time has gone on, and I'm really not worried about it anymore. Through weeks 4 and 5, it was scary and was definitely a part of deciding to quit my job. Some other things that have been going on is I've definitely had to go to the bathroom more often. Like, it wakes me up in the night at least once usually, if not twice. So it's hard to get a full night's sleep. That hasn't been very fun, but just part of it. I know that just continues on throughout the pregnancy, I believe, and even might get worse towards the end when the baby's actually like sitting on your bladder and all of that. I know right now I think it's just because the hormones are changing and all of that. So, oh yeah, so we don't have any we do have running water. We don't have any drinkable water in our house, so we have to buy bottled water. We never bought bottled water before, but we've had to since we've lived in this house. And we've just always kept it room temperature. We never put it in the fridge. That might be gross to some of you, but my husband and I don't know, we don't like to be cold, so the room temperature water didn't bother us, and I think I've heard it's better for your digestion anyways to not have freezing cold water. But that all changed this week. Warm water was to me, and yet I was really thirsty, so my husband we ran out of water almost and had a couple that my husband had put in the fridge for whatever reason. And I drank some of those and I was like, ooh, okay, cold water it is. Cold water is super refreshing for me now, and that's all I want. I don't want any warm water. It just makes me want to gag. Also warm a lot at the time, so that might play into that. I think this probably started right away. It's just I notice it more now, maybe because the weather is warm too, but I'm definitely warm a lot, and at night especially I'll turn down the air and basically freeze my husband out of the house. He's always saying he's so cold, we've definitely switched roles because I am a cold person. I'm always so cold. I've always got layers on. Even in the summer, whenever I would go to the office, I always had a sweater and a scarf on, even in the warm months, and not anymore. So I'm warmer now. And so I keep the air down lower, and definitely when I'm sleeping, keep the air down lower. And I think the last symptom really is that I don't feel like I've really had the pregnancy glow at all. In fact, if there's any glow, it's just because my skin is extra oily, which is giving me all kinds of breakouts. Okay, it's not as bad as it could be, but I told you last time that I had some breakouts on my forehead that it's kind of stayed where it's at. It's not really bad or anything, but I've got some breakout going on here. I had a really bad one here, and yeah, that hasn't been too fun. I've definitely had acne, but not super bad yet. So I guess I'm grateful for that. But my skin has just been so much more oily on my face, just my face, because the rest of me is really dry and annoying. So yeah, I think that about wraps up my week 6 pregnancy update. I had to force myself to do this video because I really don't feel like it. I really didn't feel like it, but I want to be able to look back at this one day. There's really not much to see. I'm just maybe a little thicker around the waist, just slightly. I just look kind of bloated, I think. But yeah, there's definitely stuff going on down there. It's just, there's not a whole lot to see yet, but I will probably try to take a belly shot. I'm just not in the mood and don't feel good and don't want to set up my tripod and everything. Anyways, if you all are along with me and are pregnant as well, I'd love to hear how far along you are in the comments below, or if you're trying to get pregnant, or if you have any advice for me if you've been pregnant before, please let me know. I am happy to receive any advice you might have. I have to say, whenever I'm feeling sick, I remind myself that I'm grateful for this, because it just means I've still got a little baby growing in there, and these are symptoms of that. So I'm very, very grateful for that. But that's gonna wrap it up. Like I said, leave any questions below. I hope you'll subscribe if you're new and want to follow along. This is our first baby, so we are excited but super nervous too. So your input is always welcome. And I will see you next time. Bye.